Spokane has a lot of great old stories, and Garrin Hertel is on a mission to tell those stories through print, music, and other media. Garrin's passion for history started at a young age when his parents, who were both teachers, took the family on a cross-country trip.
We took off 3 days after school got out and got back to Spokane 3 days before school went back into session. And we were gone 14,000 miles, 11 weeks. So by the time I was 5 years old, I'd been to the White House, to Gettysburg, to Monticello, a lot of historical sites. And so when I was in class, it was a lot easier to pay attention to my history lessons because I'd had all this tactile contact with historical places, photos. My parents did a lot of good things to make me interested in history.
Years later, after majoring in history from Gonzaga University, Garrin became owner and publisher of a Spokane magazine called Nostalgia, which is a collection of personal stories from area residents.
Most of the stories come from the readership. I do research to double check some of their facts and figures in cases where that's appropriate. I do research also to augment their story and to find photos if they don't have historic photos to go along with it. So the photos are a big part of obviously telling the story in a magazine format. I also do all the business side of it, so subscriptions, selling advertising, working with the printer. I do the graphic design and layout. I deliver the magazine to all the outlets like Rosar's and Yolks and Barnes & Noble and Auntie's, and just goes on and on. I do pretty much the whole thing. So if you call Nostalgia Magazine, I'm the one that's going to answer the phone if I'm able to.
The sky was blue and high above. The moon was new and so was love.
I'm also the band leader for Hot Club of Spokane, which is a local traditional jazz band, which fits in with the magazine nicely in terms of preserving, a music that's significant to our region. Bing Crosby and Mildred Bailey and Al Rinker being from our community, that's the music that they went on to succeed with in Hollywood and in the music industry. And that's the music that we play.
You've gone away. This aching heart of mine is singing. Lover, come back to me.
Hot Club of Spokane is 7 to 8 musicians strong, and most of them play either in the symphony or the Spokane Jazz Orchestra, or they're teachers in the music community and in schools around Spokane. I play rhythm guitar, I organize the gigs, I keep the calendar, and I try to get us more work.
So Garrin publishes a magazine and leads a jazz band, and if that weren't enough, he's also created the Nostalgia Radio Hour. Done in the style of old-time live radio, Garrin records every show in front of a live audience and then edits the pieces into a monthly program which is aired on Spokane radio.
The Nostalgia Radio Hour is basically Nostalgia Magazine meets The Tonight Show. And so it's a format like a variety show. There's musical guests, and then we have guests from the Spokane community that come on and talk about their stories and what's going on in Spokane history. And it gives us a chance to add the dimension of sound to the magazine.
In his usual style, Garrin performs all the major tasks during the radio show.
Well, I have been hosting, and I've also been band leading, and I've been sound engineering and stage directing, so it can be busy.
If his passion for history doesn't kill him, Garrin will continue to celebrate nostalgia for our region's history.
For me, nostalgia requires two things. Basically, it requires change and it requires attachment. So if you are attached to certain things from your past, as most of us are, neighborhoods, restaurants, schools, friends from those schools, and so on, when those friends go on maybe to live elsewhere, or possibly a restaurant closes that was dear to your family, that becomes nostalgia because it's changed and you can't go back to it other than through storytelling. And so the magazine is all about recovering and preserving the stories from our past. I get calls or letters every single day from people who say, I love this magazine. I read it cover to cover, and they wait anxiously for the next one. How many jobs do you have where you get to make people's day? on a regular basis. I love it.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.